That's right.
Right.
So we
Get one goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Jump in there, Harold.
Yeah, one of the
Get
things
to know the
that-
Harold.
When we played the Ricky and I era, the pre-59ers, there wasn't a retirement, and they came, you know, the PA came to us and said, "Hey, look, guys, these guys don't have any retirement and stuff. Do you mind at the negotiation table that we'll address that need there and give a slice of the pie for these retired players?" And all of us voted yes. So historically, in the past, former active players has taken care of former players, and I think we're headed in the right direction with the executive council and executive committees now having a player on there just at the table to kind of listen. He doesn't have a vote, but at least we know our concerns are being addressed because that retired player is in the same situation that we're in. So with that being said, more and more things are happening to assure that when the negotiation process, you know, the CBA has concluded that retired players will be taken care of.
Hakeem the Dream.
For the sake of our listening audience, I didn't think that I heard you guys say how many years you played in the NFL and the team that you played for,
very
and the
good.
position that you played also for the listening audience.
Go ahead, Mr. Harold.
Well, first of all, I graduated at the University of Florida, where I played there, and then I was a free agent with the Denver Broncos. I wasn't drafted initially. Then I went to the Detroit Lions, where I played 7 years. I played here in Tampa in the USFL for the Tampa Bay Bandits, and then I retired with the Kansas City Chiefs in 1988.
All right, Ricky.
I had the opportunity to play 10 years in the National Football League. It was drafted here in the second round at Washington State in '87 to Tampa Bay. Played here for 7 years, and then as a free agent went to the New England Patriots and played there for 3 years. Had a chance to play Super Bowl 31.
Oh, there's one. Ricky, we got a Super Bowl great up in the house. Show me that Super Bowl ring, Ricky.
Well, I don't have.
I know, I just see it. It's radio, Rick. It's radio. That's it, Rick. It's radio. Oh my God! But we go video too, cause we're streaming live on Facebook. I got Sadiq over there filming all this, so we live on Facebook as well. This is exciting. Hakeem the Dream, let me ask a question now. Since Rick and them, they came with all their community involvement. Ricky, do you think the present players are really community involved, like the, like y'all, like Ricky and like you and James was? The involvement of the current players, the involvement of Boys and Girls Club, coming to the community, doing football camps, reaching out to somebody on 22nd and Lake, reaching out to the young children and the youth in the hood. What are the current players? Are they acting like you were when y'all was playing? You see that now?
I think they are. I think that they are. But I think that the team is a lot more involved in that than it was back in the day. I mean, when I played, I actually kind of went out on my own and was able to search out, different avenues to where I can help.
When you say the team involved, I mean that if I was on the Boys and Girls Club and wanted to get a player to come, I got to go through the team.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
That's the problem.
And when I got out of the ball, the grassroots approach of growing up in Tampa, being able to go down into the Cyrus Green Playground, the Jackson Hyde Park, and all that, I was familiar with the guys, and I was aware of the needs, and it was imperative to me and important as well that I go back and try to give some back to the guys. A lot of times when we talk about the negative influence in the community, guys want to, try and they emulate what they see. So the more we can get there and be involved in their lives and, try to make a difference in them and give them viable alternatives, players are, more inclined to be able to address their needs.
Very good. Hakeem the Dream.
When I tried to get information about current players, I called the Buccaneer organization, and they said because of the label strike, they don't have contacts and they couldn't fulfill that. But it goes to show you that if a player have to get permission from the owner for the team in order for him to come out and do social work, he can just say, my day off, I can go do that.
Well, yeah, players can do it, and then there's a lot of players that are involved in the community. I don't want to say that that's not happening, but it's much more formalized, and that now guys start these foundations while they're playing. They're making a lot of money, so they create various foundations, and they have the support systems are there. It just who they're using and what charities they're picking or kind of put into a bowl and guys get to pick from it. You have to be aware of the needs in the community to create those charities. Yeah, in the neighborhood now, and you have to have a big voice in the direction that your charity is going to go in as a player.
Because you can create one of those foundations and charities that really don't benefit the young people in the community if you don't choose the right charity. That's what I'm hearing you saying.
Yeah, that pretty much that's what it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you have to definitely be concerned about that and go in. Some people are big in the health industry, but when you talk about grassroots, going in, helping with the tutoring program, taking the kids to the Buccaneer games, and the Buccaneers do a real good job of that, making sure that these guys start these foundations and they carry these kids to the ball games on Sunday that normally couldn't afford to go there. So we're making progress.
All right, let me move the conversation on a little bit. I want to talk about now, it's two different organizations. The NFL Alumni Association, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Harris, and then the Retired Players Association. Kind of give us the difference between the two, and you can jump in after Mr. Harris, Ricky.
Well, the NFL Alumni basically is an organization of retired players, but it also affords lay people the opportunity to be a part of the organization. They're caring for kids is their mission. So the alumni did a real good job. They're a very charitable organization, whether it's Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts. So
the mission statement is based on community involvement?
Pretty much community involvement and being another vehicle of retired players. And the owners own the NFL Alumni.
Okay, Ricky, jump into that.
The NFL,
Dave wanted that to be known.
well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's the way it works. And the NFLPA, it's the NFLPA Former Players Association now. They actually recently changed the name when DeMaurice Smith took over.
No more retired.
Yeah, they thought the word retired, was something for.
So it's
you
not
think of somebody that's.
it's not politically correct no more to say
That's
retired.
right. That's
Former
right.
NFL player. I think that do have a more stew to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you figure most of the guys once they finish playing, you might be 30 years old or so. You're fairly young, so you're just getting ready.
Rocket Chair retired.
That's right. So we say the Former Players Association now, but anyway, we actually we do our things in the community as well, and the Former Players Association is actually based upon having a group of former players. There's no layman involved in that organization at all, but it's just us as former players getting together. We meet usually once a month. We do things in the community, and also myself as the president, I'm actually keep the guys informed.
And we want to let our
benefits.
listeners. Yes, let me just say this: we want to let our listeners get involved in that. So when we get ready to close, do your closing remarks. We want you to get on the website, a number or something, so we can definitely get the community involved. Cause community involvement, I've been involved as a community organizer in this town over 27 years, and it would be nice to have some former NFL players involved. Not no retired ones. Some former NFL players involved. Hakeem the Dream, let's move the conversation along.
Okay, even though like we talking about the lockout, and my question would be, how do you think the strike is affecting the image of football in the eyes of the fan and the players too? Because we had the draft and people that want to be introduced to the football and the camps and things like this, and they being robbed of that. Is that something that they can make up later on when this thing's over with, or that's be like something you done lost something on missing out on that?
All right, Hakeem, go ahead. Mr. Aaron, he gave you a lot of students.
The lockout, is being imposed by the owners, but players still have the ability to get out in the community. From a fan perspective, there's a lot of concern, that might not be any football. That's number one pastime sport. You talked about monetarily how much money it generates. I think on the larger scale, you're talking about the people that work at the stadium that's not going to have the job, the guys that's parking them cars, the guy that sells those T-shirts.
Yeah.
So now, when you look at the economic impact that it's having on the entire community, we need football.
All right, Ricky, the fans is being affected very bad by this, huh?
Oh yeah, they want football,
Yeah.
But we're still not there yet because we hadn't really missed any games, we hadn't missed any training camp or anything like that. But it's the threat of it that everybody are concerned with, because we're getting so close to the start of training camp that there is a major concern. And like James said, a lot of people will be affected by it as far as their jobs and things of that nature. So, prayerfully they can get this thing done here
real soon. Well, they say they're gonna get it done soon because we're having football withdrawal. I know, you're looking for it. I can't play that music. The guy and he wanna how can you say hit it and quit it like James Brown? Give us a little of that, Elliot. Man, we're gonna come back and talk about that $9 billion again. I'm still stuck there, and that really still. We're gonna come back and talk about the revenue, but we really want football to come back. All right, if you want to call in and talk to our NFL great and entrepreneur that's in the house, we got Mr. James Harrell, former NFL player, played with the Denver Broncos and Detroit Lions. And we have also a former NFL Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mr. Ricky Reynolds, in the house, in the studio with us.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl, got a Super Bowl. Hey, we want to let that be known. So we're glad to have you here. We're talking about NFL past, present, and future, talking about the lockout, talking about historical great. If you'd like to call in, the call-in number here is 813-251-9867, 813-251-WTMP. It's 9930. We're going to now move the conversation along and get back to that $9 billion revenue sharing. I got stuck there, didn't I, Rick? Rick smiles, yeah. When you start talking about revenue sharing, let's talk about the revenue. Where's revenue coming from? Most of it's coming from TV revenue, right?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about the revenue, where that money come from first, because everybody want to know, where do the owners get all this money to pay players, this kind of money? Let's tell them why the owners making so much money. I always focus on how much money the players make. The owners making money too.
Well, when you look at it, not only at TV, you look at the seat licensing agreements that the owners have with the various stadiums. You talk about all of the tickets, the season ticket holders that are out there. You're talking about merchandise. Back in the day, you couldn't just get an NFL jersey, or you couldn't get the shorts. Now you can buy them online. The team have their shops located adjacent to their training facility. So there's a lot of dollars being made out there, and the players just want to be a part of getting their fair share.
Ricky.
It's actually going to be a lot more money being made, because they're going to actually start taking NFL football to the cable stations. And so they actually said a few years down the road, maybe around 2016, it may be twice as much as what it is today. And that's what part of the negotiation that are going on now is, that they want to know, the players want to know, how are we going to split this extra money that's going to be made here in the future. So it's going to be even more.
Very interesting. Let me talk about it before I get to you, Hakeem. I was doing my research for the show last night on the internet. It said like in 74, 75 seats was like $40, $50. Now, what's the average for a family? Say 3 in the family come out and watch a football game. Ricky,
I think it has to be at least $150. A family of 4, you can probably get there and get seats in the 300 level at Raymond James. Get a hot dog and
that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, so probably $125. You got park. So a family of 4 each Sunday, you have to generate that much money.
Is that a person?
Not no free.
It's pretty expensive.
It's pretty expensive. If you want to go club level, that's $150 per ticket.
Yeah, they were saying about an average of 4 families. Said now 2010 was about $350 to $400. With the hot dogs, the parking, you buy a souvenir. And so that's part of that revenue that we was talking about, that $9 billion. All of that is tied into that revenue stream, right?
Yeah, we didn't even talk about concession, as I was doing the math, adding up the dollars. So concession's a big part of it. And the owners, I remember when I played in Detroit, the 4 preseason games basically covered our salaries and for the entire year.
Ricky, don't say that.
Yeah, so Mr. Ford had the luxury of all 16 games
All
basically
profit.
being profit.
Think about that. Think about that. I can't drink. I can't drink. Can you imagine a businessman and you run 4 games and the rest of all school? You be ready for the 4 games for your wisdom. You start counting that profit of other 16 games. That's exciting, man. I think I want to be an owner. I want to the dream when you come back.